Hey BBs, it's Plastic and today I'm back with you guys for another video. Today's video, I really just wanted to sit down and ghoul chat and kind of talk to you guys about like which Bratz doll lines and which dolls I guess I would love to see kind of reproduced for the second anniversary I guess we're in now for the 22nd year. This idea kind of popped in my head because of the Bratz Pretty and Punk dolls that we've seen so far. Like they kind of popped up in the UK and like the Myers store, I think that's what it's called. We've also seen the stock pictures for the new Pretty and Punk dolls, and they just look super amazing. Some of them even look better than their OG dolls. And they just look so good for, being reproductions. And I kind of tweeted, I guess, a couple days, which I guess will be my first line that I love to see, was the Treasures dolls being reproduced. I think these dolls would be great reproductions as they are kind of, a very highly sought after in the terms of like the market, like the secondhand market and everything. The styles are also very simple for each character. Each character has a very similar, unique, not unique, but like similar kind of silhouette, and they all have very similar boots and stuff. And I feel like the fabrics and patterns aren't too crazy to kind of replicate. Again, they also kind of share the same boot mold, which I think would be really good for reproduction's kind of sake. Fashions are also very like current into what like today's kind of fashion is, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very like that Y2K, but also very Bratz at the same time, where I feel like it would, meet a lot of demands for the people who are like the casual collectors, the casual Bratz collectors, and also like the actual Bratz collectors who like understand, I just think these dolls would do super well in today's market and everything. And like, they don't even have to be reproduced with like the chests and everything. I just think like the first outfit even would be really cool for like a $15 doll. You just shove them out there. But again, with like the new technologies for the faces and everything, and especially that they are again using those OG head molds, I think these dolls would just turn out super beyond stellar. Another line that I love to see kind of reproduced would be the Passion for Fashion Bratz line. I think this is like the 4th edition, correct me if I'm wrong. It's the edition with a bunch of new characters. We have icons like Destiny, Kina, Aubrey, Sabrina, I think her name is, and there's another one. I think there's 4 or 5 new characters, but these characters are also all super fun and individual in their own ways, and I just love to see them all with a better hair type, because these dolls were kind of produced in like the later era of Bratz, the first G, I guess, where they were kind of phasing out because of like the lawsuits and everything. And I think this would be such a cool line to kind of just reproduce for the sake of, they weren't on shelves as long as some of the other Bratz dolls, like Rock Angels. Like, these dolls just aren't, there wasn't as many made again as there were when like they were at their peak and everything. I'd love to see that for that reason. I'd also love to see them with better hair quality, because since these dolls were again kind of at the end of the first Bratz era, I guess I'd love to see them with like a nice nylon hair, not the polypropylene that we used in their OG releases. Also, all of these dolls have such fun mix and match potential, and they're just really current. Again, they still kind of have that really fun energy to them, where I feel like they would just do super well again in today's market. I would definitely like a Kina for myself, because I want that doll so much, but not with the polypropylene hair. And I just love to see, I guess in general, any other character who had that, who has like a single release during that era, who had like a really bad hair type, to be reproduced, because again, I think it'd be really cool to have a chance for other collectors to not have to deal with the burden that is the Bratz poly hair. But I'd also love to see kind of like, this isn't my favorite Bratz line or anything. It's not one of those lines that like I'm foaming at the mouth to buy, that I'm not like, fighting people over. And it's not even a line that I think of like Bratz when I first think of the word. I'm talking about the Bratz Princess line. This line is super iconic and definitely a fan favorite amongst the collectors and everything. And I think this line would be super interesting to kind of see reproduced, because they all kind of wear the same kind of shoes. They all have very similar silhouettes again. They all have fun crowns. I think this line would be super cool to kind of get reproduced just for like the crowns as well. Like, they all have, again, the like the jewelry and everything. A lot of people don't have that jewelry because it was kind of, kids don't always like have the jewelry and everything. I think this line would be also really cool if they reproduced it with a Sasha, though. Like, you know how they are, and like, with the new Pretty and Punk dolls, they're reintroducing the line, but with a new, like with Sasha, like what she would look like if she was introduced in this line. I think they could definitely fix that issue of not having a Princess Sasha, and it would definitely be important, even if they didn't want to reproduce the whole line, which I kind of wish they would, because I really like that Jade. I would love for them to just make a Sasha Princess doll, because a lot of the collections where they had most of the main 3 characters, that being Jade, Chloe, and Yasmin, but not having Sasha, feels really weird. It feels very racist. I mean, I feel like we probably know why Sasha wasn't included, but I wish they would have included her, and I think it would be a really cool way to just, give us a Princess Sasha. I feel like this, it wouldn't be hard to give us a Princess Sasha. There was art for it, maybe. Was there art for it? There was a screening for it. Someone has Princess Sasha head, I think. I don't know, but I just love to see a Princess Sasha, and that again kind of goes for any other line that like Sasha wasn't included in. Like I think we definitely need to have that. Another line that I would kind of want just to be reproduced from my own collection would be the Welcome to Fabulous dolls. Yeah, I'm talking about the entire lineup. I love them so beyond much. They are all super fun and super cute. I would love to see also Jade kind of come back in this line. I know Tiana's is it Tiana? Is that one who's in here? I know that she's in there for like a reason, but I'd love to see if Jade was in there because I think Jade's own personal style would be very interesting and very cool to see if she was in this kind of, what she would be in this line. I think she would have really intricate fashion and everything, and I think this line overall is really, really cool. I think it's very interesting. I know it had a lot of pushback when it first came out because it was very, like, adult, but if we want to still use that same critique, I think that if they wanted to play into the adult collector thing that they kind of have been doing, I think releasing a more, and I don't want to even say these are adult dolls because they're very just like whatever, but like I think these would be cool for adult collectors. You know what I mean? I think, again, the fabulous coats, the fabulous hair, the fabulous shoes, everything about these dolls would be such a fun to be reproduced, and I think they would fit really nicely in with the other ones. I would love to see these, again, on, like, Target shelves. That would be so fabulous. I also don't know if, like, these would, like, go over very well because there was, pushback when they first got released, but maybe, like, an online exclusive. I want them. The next one, though, makes the most sense, I think, ever. I want to see the twins dolls be re-released. I'm talking about Phoebe and Roxy, first of all, and Nona and Tess. First off, Sugar and Spice. Duh. Like, I think those would make the most reproduction sense ever, or even giving Roxy and Phoebe like a collector kind of doll, like because of the obvious Sugar and Spice on Drag Race season 15. I think that makes the most sense ever. Like the timing wise and everything would be perfect. They could even like, have a collaboration with Spice and Sugar like in their own way if they want to do a collaboration doll. But even if they were just to reproduce the OG twins dolls, I think that would make a lot of sense because these dolls are essential Bratz. These dolls are just when you think of Bratz, I feel like you always think of these dolls in there. I have both of them, but I would love a reproduction just so I could have all their pieces and everything. And I think these dolls would just hold up super well. Again, the fashion's very there. The twin thing is something that MJ has always loved, and I think it would be really cool to see Phoebe back because we haven't seen a new Phoebe doll since what, like 2010s era. Like, it's been a minute. I don't think she's been back yet. So I think it would be really cool for that purpose as well. But I would also love to see Nona and Tess because there were two variants of these dolls. There was a lighter skin version and like a darker skin version. I would love to see if they kind of rewrote their wrong and like made the darker skin versions more available to everybody because they lightened them up. I think that's what again, I'm not like the biggest Bratz fan. Like, I love them, but I don't like know everything. But like from what I know, I would love to see these dolls be reproduced with the correct skin tone. I think also the fashions for these dolls is super, again, relevant. It's very cute. It's very pretty. It's very silly, and it's very like fierce and everything. I think it would just be super fun to kind of see them back in that like Y2K like very red vibe. I think it would be really, really cool. But the Space Angels Bratz are also a line that would make so much sense to be reproduced right now. It's giving very Y2K space, you know what I mean? So that would be perfect for today's like Y2K influence of everything. I think these dolls are also beyond stunning in their own ways, and I don't think they would be too hard to replicate. Again, I have no idea what goes into it, but I think they would just be super fun to kind of, come back and everything. We have the main four characters in Nevra, which I think we could use more Nevra character dolls, like in the way, like in like the field of everything. If we had a reproduction of that doll, I think the entire Bratz community would flip on a backstand and just do a bunch of flips. I don't know if that's whatever. I don't even know what I'm trying to say with that, but I think those dolls would be amazing. Also, again, a lot of the OG pleather is kind of ripping and stuff, and they could even do a Rock Angels thing. I mean, not pull a Rock Angels in like the literal sense of, having the funky faces, but in the terms of, forgetting the CD and just giving us the basic doll with the outfit and stuff. I think these wouldn't be also crazy to reproduce because they only come with a shirt in their second outfit. So I think that would be really cool. They wouldn't have to be like $40. They could probably be like 30 maybe if we're feeling it. I just think these would be so good. Everyone would go crazy though over Nevra. I would go crazy over Nevra because that's the moment. And these dolls are also not like the most popular Bratz dolls. I get that. But for the real fans, I think these would also be really cool just to, you know, have a little Space Angels fantasy. I would personally love them. And again, Britney Spears, like that, I feel like that's what it would give. But the last doll line that I would love to see reproduced would be the Flashback Fever dolls. Personally, again, this is like one of my personal favorite Bratz collections, like in the entire existence. Every doll in this line has a unique kind of sense and style because obviously they're different decades and everything. And I think this line would just do super well. I would also love to see if maybe they gave us a new character like Vanessa. I'm going to nominate Vanessa to be like an early 2000s kind of doll. Like if they introduced her to be like a different, like the 2000s decade, and they could pay like homage to themselves, not in a tacky way, but not in like a weird like dolls kill Forever 21 Bratz way, but like in a genuine Bratz, like what made Bratz Bratz. I think if they did that for a doll, like tell me she wouldn't do the best as like an early 2000s Bratz doll. Like you use this base, the bangs and like the makeup and everything, and you just go ham with the outfit. Keep her on the OG body. But if you just did like this crazy like early 2000s inspo thing, I think the world would stop. That's just like one of my things. Like, could you imagine like adding on to like the decades and everything? I think that would just be so beyond fun. That just got me really excited because I'd love to see that so beyond much. I also think everyone should own a Forever Diamonds Vanessa. If they wanted to reproduce her, I would love that. But kind of also getting into one of my last points, I promise, I'm almost done rambling. The Bratz, like the series dolls, like the series 1, series 2, like those reproductions of just like the characters. We need more of those. I think those are super cool because it's a way that we don't have to reproduce a whole line. Like we don't really need Wild Wild West again. Like we're good on that, but we can get Kiana back. I think that's a really cool way for fans, like modern fans, I guess, fans who just got into the brand recently, to get these desired characters that they weren't able to get or are harder to get now in a really cheap and affordable way. Those dolls aren't that expensive either. They're very much under $30, which for, you know, right now it's pretty good for a doll. And the first one I also want to see is Miss Vanessa. I think this doll needs to be reproduced 17 times over. She's just super good and super pretty. I kind of love those saran bangs, though. I wouldn't want the nylon bangs, but this doll would be amazing to be reproduced. Very early 2000s, what like the Bratz fans want. But wrapping it all up, I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comments below. What doll lines you would think be super fun to reproduce, what doll lines you'd love to see in stores again, what your predictions and hopes are for the Bratz brand. And let me know if you guys want a part 2. I feel like I have a lot more opinions and a lot more things that could be said about the Bratz reproductions because they've been super good recently. Like ever since, I think, Girls Night Out, they've just been stellar. And I've been super obsessed with them, and I just want to continue to support if they continue to do good things with the good products. And I'm super on the edge of my seat for Pretty and Punk to come out in the United States. I need that Jade 3 times over at the minimum. I think that Jade is perfect and honestly might be better than her OG. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching today's video. It was so much fun ghoul chatting with you guys, and I cannot wait to catch y'all in the next one. Love you all so very much. Please have a Bratz-tastic day. I don't know. Love you. Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.